Hey, is this thing on? Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be sharing some information today about the lessons that I learned in my 20s. I am now 32 years old, actually 32 and a half, heading to 33. And I just feel like my 20s were such an important part of my life and so pivotal with learning valuable life lessons. And so I want to share those life lessons with all of you. So there's no particular area or topic that I'm focusing on with these lessons. They are just for life in general. So there's going to be a little bit of career, personal, relationships, and everything kind of in between. And so the first one that I want to start off with is actually related to your career. Remember always, work is for work. Do not go to work and tell everyone all of your business. And this one I had to learn the hard way, and I actually did not learn this until kind of my late 20s. And it wasn't necessarily that I was just going around telling everybody my business at work, but I was very trusting and I assumed that people had good intentions when in reality they did not. And the way that that came about was not a great experience for me. And you have to realize that people who you expect are going to support you or stand up for you or have your back, like that all goes out the window. So it's so important to have a paper trail for one. This is kind of a separate little tangent I'm going to go on, but listen, always have a paper trail. If people want to have conversations with you, send it to my email. Or if you had a conversation, follow up via email and say, per our conversation, I just want to recap X, Y, and Z, tell the story. Please confirm that you've received this email and that you agree with everything listed above. Because people will lie, people will try to take the position that's yours, people will try to get you out of the company, and it's for so many different reasons. Like, there were things that I didn't even notice, like small digs that a particular coworker was making, and she kept just digging, and then eventually it became a big hole. And thankfully I had a paper trail to be able to kind of combat any issues that could have arisen from that situation. But also at the same time, some people just are not nice. They are not kind. They do not care about you, especially in the workplace. So you have to be mindful and you have to pay attention and be very careful about how you interact with people and what you share with others in the professional setting. And I also noticed things in relation to this that didn't necessarily apply to me, but I would see it happening to other people. So let's say that there was like an event for work, a party, or people would go out after work for drinks or happy hour. You have to be very careful and watch how you're behaving and interacting in those situations as well. Because someone will take something that happened at happy hour when it was fun, we were off the clock, something you said, something you did, and they will use that against you in the next meeting that you have at work. And so you have to just make sure that you're always looking out for yourself and you're paying attention to how you present yourself in the professional setting. And I'm not saying all people are bad. I'm not saying that you can't find friends at work, but you have to really be mindful, pay close attention, and be very discerning and careful with what steps you decide to take and how much you decide to share. The next lesson that I learned in my 20s is that all friends are not friends for everything. So I will say like, oh, well, that's my travel friend. That's my event friend. That's the friend that I talk to about this. Because everyone can serve a different purpose in your life. Your friends don't have to be your all. They don't have to be all encompassing and everything wrapped up into one. Some people you cannot travel with. No. I have a certain way that I like to travel. I love a good itinerary. So I'm not going to travel with someone who is just kind of like, woo, let's just arrive and see what happens. Or maybe like, where do you like to stay when you go on vacation? It may be different from where I like to stay when I go on vacation. And so to keep down confusion and not have any issues arise in your friendship, then I just know like, oh, that's not someone that I'm able to travel with, but we can go to lunch, we can be friends, we can chit chat about this and that and the other, but they don't have to be my friend for every single thing. Or there are friends that like, this is my go-to person that I go to concerts with because they're so much fun. We always have a good time. We have similar taste in music, but that may not be the person that I feel really comfortable divulging a lot of my like deeper personal matters to. It just kind of depends. And so you have to really pay attention to your friends, pay attention to the interactions that you have with them, and realize that it's okay for your friends to be friends for different purposes. It doesn't mean they're less of your friend or that you don't like them more than anyone else. It just means that that's the void that they fill for you, and you can enjoy those specific things with them without having to enjoy every single thing with them. My third piece of advice is to save your money. This is so important. Your 20s is for building. You're building what your life is going to look like moving forward. So don't spend all of your money. Don't get into credit card debt. Really focus on figuring out what a budget looks like for you, where you can of course still go have fun and support yourself and treat yourself to things here and there, but also included in that budget, you need to have some money set aside. You need to be saving. It could be for things that you want to buy, things that are fun, bigger purchases, a car, a house, anything like that in the future. But also you need savings for actual life. Emergencies happen, things come up that you don't always expect, and you don't want to be in a position where you have to charge these large amounts and dig yourself into this hole of debt. Save your money, put it aside, and whatever comes about, whatever you need it for, it's nice to know that, hey, I have that there. I have worked, I have set this aside for myself, and I can use it when I need it or to benefit me to get something that I really want in the future. My next piece of advice is to try new things in your 20s. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your career if you want to. This is the time where you get to explore and figure out who you really are, what you really want out of life, what you think about things, and you're not gonna know if you have not tried. So go travel, see the world, find different perspectives, and just try things out. You never know where the path might lead you, and especially with your career, don't feel like you are stuck. Like, well, this is what I went to school for, or this is what I always said I wanted to be. That can change. I changed my career in my 20s, and it's the best decision that I have ever made. I have an amazing career now with work-life balance, and I'm so happy and I'm so fulfilled. Compared to before, when I felt like I was trapped and I didn't have any other options, you always have options, even after your 20s. But since we're focused on the 20s for this video, I'm gonna say when you are young, don't feel like you're stuck. Don't put yourself in a box. Try new things and figure out what really works for you. My next tip is to use your 20s to build healthy habits and routines. I know it's like, oh, I'm 20, I'm young, like you feel like you're invincible, but all of that compiles into later in life. And so make sure that you are focused on your water intake, on eating well, being conscious about what you put into your body, on your body, the situations that you put yourself in, the interactions and things that you have, because all of that can really impact your health, and you don't want to be in a bad situation when you get older or pay for the choices that you made when you were in your 20s. So try your best to be diligent in building those healthy routines, thinking about the longevity, even with things like your skincare. Use your vitamin C serum, put on retinol, make sure you're moisturizing and pulling your skin up, because in your 20s you're like, well, I look great, I look amazing, I look so young, but gravity sets in. So start taking care of those things early on, which is also just good for your health and your skin overall, but really you're gonna see the benefits from the outside as well if you focus on healthy routines while you're in your 20s. And my next tip is so important, is to really dedicate your time to get to know yourself so that you do not become a follower. I actually have a video about how important it is to spend time alone and to get to know yourself before you get into a relationship to where you're gonna spend the rest of your life with someone, but also just in general, it's so important to take a moment to know who you are, because it's so easy to just end up following what everyone else is doing and not even realizing, like, this is not the life that I want it for myself. I don't even know what I want for myself. So take a moment to just really dive deep into who you are, what you want in life, instead of focusing on what everyone else wants or what everyone else is doing. And this leads me to my next piece of advice, which is that your opinion matters more than anyone else's about yourself. So if you are happy with yourself, you are pleased with the choices that you are making, with the direction that your life is going, that is all that matters. People are always going to have an idea, something to say, something to add or put in. And you know what? You can listen. Sometimes it could be helpful advice, but you don't have to always take it. Really think about how you feel about yourself. Do you love yourself? Do you value yourself? Do you think that what you offer to the world is important? And that is what's going to help you to feel your best about yourself and to keep always moving forward, growing and learning over time, but not really changing yourself based on the opinions of others. The next lesson that I learned in my 20s is to not make excuses and to apologize when you are wrong. If you are just like, oh, well, that's not really what happened, or you're making an excuse for something, you're just digging yourself deeper and deeper into this hole. If you are lying, there is no easy way to get out of a lie. You gotta tell another lie and another lie. And before you realize it, you're in this web and you don't even know what's going on. So especially like with your friend groups, like don't say one thing to someone else and then say something different to this other friend, because everything always comes out and it can end up being like a really big mess for no reason. And you can also end up hurting a lot of people. So if you have done something wrong, if you've said something wrong, if you've been unkind, you haven't been thoughtful, you made a mistake or a poor decision, own up to that. Don't make excuses. Apologize to the people who were affected by the choices that you made. Apologize to yourself for not valuing yourself as much as you could have, and then move forward. Learn from it. Don't let it become a reoccurring pattern, but also don't get stuck in that regret or feeling like so bad and being down on yourself. Use that to propel you forward to becoming more like the person that you would like to be. The next lesson that I learned in my 20s was to protect my energy. It's all you have, who you are. You don't want your spirit and your soul to become broken by interactions that you have with other people. So please, if you have negative people in your life, eliminate them from your life. There's no need to hang on to people who are just dragging you down and who are not adding any value to your life, who are not supporting you, and who don't want the best for you. And you know when someone is negative. You know when they don't have the best intentions. Just like we were talking about with work, how you can kind of feel like someone's like, maybe they're being like a little shady at work. You can feel when people are being shady in your personal life too. So any negativity, whether it comes from people who you love dearly, people who you respect, people who you've always known, always been around, it has to go. You cannot let that push you down, weigh you down, and keep you from reaching your potential. And the last lesson that I'm going to share that I learned in my 20s was that kindness is non-negotiable. You have to be kind to people. You have to be thoughtful, be diligent in trying to be tactful. We all say things that we don't mean sometimes. We all can accidentally hurt people's feelings. But if your intention is good, if you have a genuine desire to want to see others succeed and you truly care about other people, then your kindness is going to show through. And being kind is going to get you a lot further in life than anything else. People will always remember you for your kindness. They will think of you for opportunities, and you never know how past interactions of just you being yourself, trying to be as kind as possible, can really have a positive impact on your future. So those are a few of the lessons that I learned in my 20s. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you would love to know more, I would love to share them and make a sequel to this video, maybe even make it a series. And then also I would love to hear from you. So if you learned anything in your 20s that you want to share, please drop it in the comments below. If you are in your 20s and you're like, wait, I have questions about this, you didn't answer it, drop the question in the comment section. I will be sure to make a video on that for you. It's a hard time. A lot happens in your 20s. It's an important time in life. It's a fun time in life. Enjoy it, cherish those moments, but also just learn from everything and use every single experience to improve and make yourself better and happier and just more full of everything that brings you joy in this world. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at affirmationswithamber.